Hey everybody, welcome to Most Imaginative Bartender. So obviously things are a little bit different, but we're still diving into the creative outlets and inspiring you hopefully to dive into them as well.
Each video will show a deeper look into the creative outlet of the 12 most imaginative bartenders.
So Mark Tubridy is in New York and his creative outlet is music. He actually created a song just for the competition called Songbird.
That was crazy.
Yeah, right?
And he also created a cocktail for the finals called the B-side. Basically a way to using ingredients in a different way.
Well, I love music, so let's talk about some music.
Let's do it.
The feeling of creating through music it's a high. There's no other word for it. When I'm really in the groove, whether I'm recording at home or here in the studio or even writing a song, nothing else exists to me. So it is an absolute rush because you feel the momentum. Well, I come from a musical family, so my mom and dad were both studying music, both in school and then pursuing musical careers. In the early days, my brother and I would be downstairs in the basement. He'd be playing guitar, going through classic songbooks. Eventually, just watching my brother play guitar, I became interested in that myself. I made a pretty bold move when I graduated from high school. I decided that I didn't want to go to college right away. I actually wanted to go play music in New York instead. I first started kind of slowing down on music when I really realized that living in New York City, I had to pay the bills, I had to make rent, and I started confusing what I did for money as what I had to do for my passion. So in one sense, working behind the bar, I've now found a new passion for cocktails. But for a long time, I thought that because I was devoting a lot of time to that new passion and devoting a lot of energy in paying bills and making rent, I made an excuse that I just don't have the time for the music. And that's really when I started to drop off. And I'd say that's probably something that I regret, is not keeping it going in some way or another. A huge turning point for me was this competition, Most Imaginative Bartender from Bombay Sapphire, because it was the first time I had seen anyone in the restaurant industry speak to bartenders as people, whole 360 people, not just people making drinks. And their whole question was, what drives you? And when they asked me that question, I realized that I stopped telling people that I played music for a long time because I felt guilty that I wasn't being active with it. When I started this competition, I started speaking to people about it. I started saying things like, I'm going into the studio to record these tracks. When people responded, I didn't even know you played music, it was this enlightening moment of, you didn't know because I didn't tell you. I didn't share that with you. I thought that I had to hide that because I was working. MIB showed me that you need to celebrate all aspects of who you are, and you can make time for it and you can make progress with it. Working in the bar industry is a great complement to doing creative passions like music. The bar industry and music are two sides of the same coin. I think there are a lot of similarities there. I think the creative process is very similar. The communication that it takes to be all on the same page when you're up there on the stage and you've got everybody in perfect time and everybody knows when the cuts are and everybody knows what the chord progression is. That's what we do in hospitality. When you have a really great dining experience and everything's coordinated, plates are cleared at just the right time and the drink hits ice cold and you get that smiling service, that is a symphony in and of itself. I absolutely feel like a part of me has returned now that I'm being active with music again. That feeling of when I actually get to sit down and play the music for my wife, for my kids, after this entire journey is so fulfilling because it feels authentic. It's that one thing that I was missing. I could play the notes, that was fine, but it didn't feel like real life yet. And now to get on the other end of it and share that with them and know that the words that I'm singing, the intonation that I'm using, the emotions that are coming through are a direct result from the journey that I embarked on and that I really, traversed for the last 15 years of my life.
Wow.
There it was. That's amazing. That guy is so inspiring.
Absolutely, 100%, And what he's saying, that is so true, that I imagine myself as a bartender to be behind the bar and to be inside the band, right? You need to connect each other to be able to transmit something, to be able to give something to the customers or to the guests. It's the same when you play music, it's the same when you're in a band. Yeah. You want to communicate something to the people. And that's so great, so important. And he discovered it through his MIB journey.
Yeah, I love the way he talks about how you know, there's so many barriers to creativity. I think so many people feel like you have to be like at a certain level for it to be your creative outlet. I love how he talks about how he was embarrassed to talk about it, but then just putting it out there.
That's it.
And you put it out there. Maybe your creative outlet is something that you are just starting out at, or something that you've loved for a long time, but for whatever reason you've told yourself that you're not there. Put it out there and be proud of it, do it, express it, enjoy it, do it for yourself. You'll see how it colors and changes everything you do, especially behind the bar. Your creative process is gonna grow.
And you see things from a different perspective.
Amazing. We'll catch you on the next one.
Let's do it.
Thanks.